As a last installment for looking great on our date, we're going to talk to a specialist in relationships and talk about how great you can look on your first date and putting your best foot forward. I'm Daniel M. This is Front Row. Hey guys, good morning. I'm Daniel M. and we have a great guest today, and we're going to talk about relationships, looking great on that first date, and kind of sum up what we've been going over for the past couple of weeks. Please join me in introducing and saying hi to Jason Galka. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Dan.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
I have to confess, I'm a huge fan of your show, A Ship Called Relation. I constantly want to send in things, and I want to text you during the show sometimes and ask questions.
People do.
You have a great time, don't you?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I started doing shows a couple of years ago, and then I met Corinne. It says, we do this relationship show, but we don't have a host for it at the moment. Would you be interested in doing it? And not being a therapist or having that sort of background, I said, yeah, because above all, I entertain, and I could certainly talk about, I tell you stories all the time about, things that have happened to me in relationships. So I speak truly from the heart. I give it to you real.
Absolutely, you really do. And I love when you guys do your whole sink or swim. It's really, I'm standing there watching it, and even though I'm watching it from my iPad, I'm kind of like, yeah, dump them, kick them out of there.
I'll get you a set of cards, and then you could, you can vote with us.
Audience participation, I love it. I would so do that. I'll probably get thrown out of a lot of restaurants, but it's okay. But you give people great advice.
Thank you.
You also spend a lot of time on the red carpet interviewing people, so you're very involved with fashion as well.
Yes.
Which is great because we've been talking the past couple of weeks about looking great on your dates, and we've helped people with matchmakers. We've helped them with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And I think to kind of round it out to finalize this today, I really wanted to talk about putting yourself together and sending the right impression, so that perhaps you'll have a little fewer people writing in going, oh, he didn't this and he didn't that. Well, maybe they'll know why.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure.
What do you think is really important for in a presence that someone would have on a first date? From a woman's standpoint, what would be?
Well, women and gay men, I say, are practically the same.
Okay.
Or women and gay men in my position. I would want to see a guy, for the first time ever, let's first establish that with first dates, you don't get a second chance.
Right.
So your first impression is everything, and I know that's kind of like the age-old saying, but it goes without saying also. I would want to see a guy pick me up now that we're coming into summer. I'm very comfortable seeing him in a pair of khakis, a button-down shirt, maybe even a blazer. I'm a very big fan of blazers,
yes,
as you know. I think that is a great first date, especially, keeping it casual. And I also believe that if you're going out for the first time with this person, you want to go to more of a casual type date. You don't want to wear suit and tie right off the bat. Keep it very comfortable, because just having that first date alone, it's going to be very awkward in the beginning, also very uncomfortable. So you want to be comfortable, but you also want to make that good first impression.
I agree. I've always called it the interview process.
Yes, I call it the audition process.
So it really is like those two things, and it's interesting because I contacted a gentleman who I love, Carmen Bucco Couture, who's dressing successful men for years and years and years, and I asked him what he thought would be really nice, and it's interesting. He said exactly the same thing.
Okay.
Dress for the occasion. You don't have to wear a three-piece suit on a date.
Right.
If you're coming from the office, which I have to confess sometimes kind of makes it a little easier for you because you're already all dressed up. So you have an excuse for kind of being
I love
overdressed.
a man in a suit. But, if you have the time to, really prepare yourself,
Sure.
First date, sure. Now that we're coming into the summertime, nice pair of jeans even with a button-down, a vest, behold.
Yeah.
But now that we're coming into the summer months, a lot of people are going on dates that involve maybe a walk on the beach afterwards or something outdoorsy, going down by the harbor.
Cafes, sure.
Exactly.
Certainly. Well, Carmen even says, if you're not going to wear a suit, you should always have a blazer on. Women desire men who are successful and dress the part.
See that?
And I think that really says it all.
Yeah.
You should. Someone a long time ago said to me, "Dress for the job that you want to have."
Yes.
Well, if you want to have a relationship with someone and you want it to be special, you should show that you put yourself out there.
Absolutely.
You spend some time to put yourself together. I was recently a cute story. I was recently had coffee with an associate who I've communicated with many times but had never met. and we were sitting and we were having coffee, and I noticed that they obviously took the time to go out and buy a new outfit to make a nice impression. It was a business thing, but still, which I appreciated, but they should have taken the tag off. And we sat through the entire conversation with this giant tag. Like, I'm going to go to that store and buy gifts for friends because the top was awesome. But I thought, it's like you seem like maybe you put your best foot forward, but you didn't follow through.
Right.
So now, what about women? I've gotten some great. Well, here, let me read this to you. This came from Emily Sky Indy, a lovely woman, Laura, who's got phenomenal clothes in her stores. And she says a nice pair of jeans if you're going out to dinner with a top that's a little sexy but not too revealing.
Okay.
Show off your physique without being slutty. And I really like that because you can look sexy without being exposed.
Oh, absolutely.
Get a nice pair of jeans that fit your body type and a complementing top. Keep your boobs in your shirt. I thought that was hilarious. I love Laura. She was a great job. But what do you see now for a woman showing up at a first date?
I agree with all of that. And as I said, I'm a very seasonal person, and I dress according to season, as you know. Right. You do the same being in the fashion world. I think now that we're coming into the nicer weather, you can also go out in a sundress with maybe a nice shawl over it.
Sure.
Definitely open-toed shoes, some wedges. Also, heels. I love heels. Pumps, if you will, stilettos. But also, ladies, when you carry your bag, you also want to throw maybe a pair of flats or some wedges into your bag also, just so that when you're done with dinner, if you do want to take that walk by the harbor or go for a stroll anywhere, you can get into some more comfortable shoes that go with anything.
Well, Laura says exactly the same thing. Look at the dates.
She's reading my mind.
Yeah, I mean,
I swear I didn't read this first.
Well, it's interesting because being out there and seeing people, I'm so amazed when I talk to you and I talk to other people, and everyone has the same views, but then you go out and you see so many fails.
Yeah.
She talks about the cold shoulder shirts, which are very, very popular with women because everyone likes their shoulders. You may not like your arms, you might not like this, but everybody likes their shoulders.
Yeah.
So it's sexy, but it's not too revealing. And she says the same thing as sundress. Maybe a little sundress for an afternoon brunch or something.
Absolutely.
Would look lovely. A wedge, a heel, shoes. And I know that
I'm a shoe fanatic too. Men's shoes, unfortunately.
I totally agree.
I don't do drag.
It's so funny because we talk about like shoes, and most men have like 4 pairs of shoes. Yeah.
We have like 4 pairs of shoes for a day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to have a variety. There are so many great pairs of shoes, and they complement. Men don't have to buy pocketbooks. They don't.
Right.
So really, spending a little extra on a nice couple of pairs of shoes, nice belt, I think are important. It's a great accessory on men.
Absolutely. And I think if I could just interject for straight men that are kind of totally clueless about shopping, I've seen men out in the middle of summer in pair of boots, like dress boots. And let's put the boots away once March rolls around because we're coming into spring. Loafers, gentlemen, okay? Boots look nice, but not for the summer.
Right.
So pick up a nice pair of loafers.
I absolutely agree. And, and the other side of that coin, too, is that I see a lot of linen out of season.
Yes.
I'll push it close to Memorial Day, but let's try and keep it. White, however, I really think all year round.
Yeah, I mean, I have certain white things that I wear in the wintertime. I have a white hoodie, actually, that's really comfortable for me just to go out if I'm running to the store or whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the fact that, white is Memorial Day up until that. It's, hey, whatever's comfortable for you and works as well. But speaking specifically about dating, you want to stay within the right colors and the right...
Of course.
The right, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, I mean, you seasonal. You want to be seasonal. You want to stick with the season. You want to be on point with that. I mean, I absolutely agree. And I think it's important, to me, mostly it's important whether it's a date, whether it's a business meeting, whether it's meeting a friend for coffee. I think it's important that you put the effort in.
Yeah.
I think that shows a lot.
Because again, you're only going to get the one chance.
Right.
First impressions are everything.
What do you feel are the biggest don'ts now?
Oh my gosh. Where do we begin? First of all, for the guys out there, I always say go with your best friend. Every man has a female friend or a female best friend or even a gay best friend. Those are the best people to take you shopping. And, we were talking about like the linen shirts and things. Those are also materials that last a long time. So you might really be spending some extra money, but it's an investment. I have linen shirts that I bought 10 years ago that still look great. I wash them, I dry them, I iron them, and I wear them every every
a
summer.
basic shirt is going to last a really long time.
Yeah.
If you've got a little bit of quality to it, it
Mhm.
will last a long time. It's worth the investment.
Right.
Stay away from the trendy stuff.
Yeah.
Especially as you're getting a little on in years, I think.
That's even more unattractive than the pattern itself.
Right.
You know, if the a pattern could, as hideous as a pattern may be, it may look good on that specific person that it's designed for. But as you said, when you're at a certain point, you need to also dress your age also. And I'm the type of person where I don't look at you for that. But if you are trying to make those impressions and you want to be successful for business and dating, then you're going to have to stick to, the unwritten rules,
Right.
if you will.
Right. It's funny when you say to dress age appropriately, is that I also meet so many people on the other side of the coin that perhaps they're in their late 40s or early 50s, and they say, I'm not a kid.
Right.
If you're looking to date a librarian, then that cardigan and pearls and whatever, and little skirt, with sensible shoes is going
With
to
the
be great.
flats.
But you're still a woman.
Right.
You can look feminine, you can look beautiful, you can look sexy without looking like you're Miley Cyrus.
Right. Exactly.
And I think that there is a line, and if you can't do it, there's so many stores that you can go to that have nowadays. Everybody's got stylists on staff.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. And for the men, if you don't have a gay friend that can dress you, then I tell guys, try not to go with like your guy friend. And
Right.
a lot of times even not even there are people that do this professionally. It's not the salesman in a certain store. Take a look. Look
Right.
at the salesman that stands out. He's the guy that's going to be able to help you put it together.
Absolutely.
And now you're able to put your best foot forward. Biggest faux pas on a date from a relationship standpoint? I'm fascinated by this. We've shown up, we look great, everybody looks fantastic. What would you say would be the biggest don't that a guy or girl could possibly do?
Well, on my own experience, this horrible dating story when I was first starting the dating world again, I went out with this guy that we went to a diner, and that was his suggestion. And I was like, okay, because it was like a lunch thing, and I was like, all right, that's not so bad. And he was just an all-around jerk. Like, he had absolutely no sense of communication skills whatsoever. I think I carried all the conversations.
Okay.
I was the one asking questions. He would answer them, but it was strictly like, if I was just talking to that wall behind you there. And then when it came time to pay the bill, he pays the bill, and I go to give half, and he actually, just took my $20 bill and just kind of like flung it to the side kind of thing, where it fell on the floor. I was like, okay, this date is completely over.
Wow.
So that's...
No manners.
No manners.
No chivalry.
No.
Doesn't matter.
No communication skills whatsoever. I mean, I talk about communication all the time on the show, and people are probably so tired of hearing it, but it's so true that the only way to keep the lines of communication open is to never close them.
Right.
That's my saying.
I agree. And if you're not, I mean, let's face it, we're trained in this.
Yes.
So it's very easy for us to carry a conversation. But if you're not as comfortable, ask a question.
Right. I understand people are shy too. I mean,
Sure.
you have people that you're nervous going on a first date. It's like I said, I look at it as an audition. You're going out, you're auditioning this guy that you want to be in a relationship with. Everything sounds good, whether you met online or you met through a friend. Something looked good that you're at this point sitting at a table. Right. So now it's like, all right, what is he doing that's going to earn him the call back, as I say, to see him again? And it's like, you have to at least have something to talk about. And I know sometimes people get nervous, they talk about the wrong things. One person talks about, how much money they make. I remember a woman was telling me, so the guy talked about how successful he was, how much money he made, what cars he drove. That's great. For later on down the line, not all at once like that, and certainly not on a first date.
Well, I think that's an indicator of what it is that you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
And what you think that person is trying to buy.
Right.
So I think if you're looking to have a meaningful relationship with someone, and I'm certainly no expert, but I think if you're looking to have a meaningful relationship with someone, it's really more about a connection.
Absolutely.
That's beyond that. If you're looking for a trophy, then perhaps that's the most important part of the conversation.
Or if you're a gold digger.
Right,
That's
right.
perfect
Well,
for you.
I mean, it's one of the best things that I ever heard was an interview with Donald Trump. And when he first met his current wife, they had asked her what she saw in him, because she's lovely.
Yeah.
And her answer was, he has what I want, and I have what he wants. And obviously it was a very direct, straightforward, we're a perfect pair, a perfect companion, because we both understand what it is that we want.
Mhm.
And if that's what you're looking for, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're really looking for love, I think that you have to put the effort forward.
Absolutely.
And, you have to look great. You do have to make that first impression.
Yes, you don't get another.
Yeah.
Can't stress it enough.
Can't fish without bait. So.
It's true. I mean, when I met John, I had just started doing my show, actually, my original talk show several years ago. And he didn't really, he didn't know who I was. It was just starting. I was only doing it for a couple of months at the time. So he didn't know anything about me, what I was doing, who I was really. I mean, we really met the right way,
Right.
if you will. And then, our relationship was built on an actual connection,
Right.
Where our conversation was, I can't remember everything we talked about, but it was always fluent conversation. It was always, he would talk, I would talk, he would talk,
See,
I
I
would
think
talk.
those are the best relationships. So when,
Yeah.
when you're in a relationship when you start a relationship and you have no idea what your conversation was,
Mhm.
but you had a great time,
Yeah.
you know you have a connection.
I would hang up the phone and it would say, how on your iPhone especially, it'll tell you how long you were on the phone. It'd be like an hour, some odd minutes.
Right.
And it's like, wow, where did the time go?
Wow,
So-
that's like 3 dates.
Yeah. for some people,
For me,
unfortunately.
it certainly is 3 dates.
You're out all the time. I'm Facebook friends with you. I see you all the time.
I am out all the time, and like I said in the beginning, it's really amazing when I look out at people and I see. I want to say, this is why you're single.
Yeah.
Put a little effort in, put stuff in. Hopefully, a lot of people have learned stuff over the past couple of weeks, both from your show and from mine, on what to do on these dates. We've had the pleasure of being together at the
singles
matchmaking
event.
at a singles event. That was really amazing.
Yeah.
And we're going to be spending some time together over the summer. I think we're going to
Yes.
be at a lot of events. Now, you've got some great stuff coming up. Tell us
Yeah.
about what you've got coming up. You've got a
I recently just did Night of 1,000 Gowns
Right.
at the Marriott Marquis in New York City, and that's something that benefits the LGBT community every year. They raise, in the past 29 years that they've had this event, they've raised millions of dollars for various
That's
organizations. Yeah. Lots more money was raised 2 weeks ago. Celebrities come out to support this. Jodie Watley was there. Chic, Debbie Harry from Blondie was there. Avenue Q, the
I saw
Tony
the pictures of
Award-winning
you and
show.
Deborah Harry.
Oh my
I was
goodness!
like, oh boy, that's awesome.
I wasn't around then, but thanks to this wonderful thing called YouTube, we can we can
Sure.
appreciate all of that work from the past that some of us weren't around for. But it's just amazing to see the support of these celebrities that come out, and that's what I'm truly grateful for. It's people that, they have so much money that they don't need to do this stuff.
Right.
And the fact that they do, it means a lot.
It is. It's amazing when people step out and they
Yeah.
support stuff. We've got a couple of events coming up that I announced, I think, 2 weeks ago or whatever. A couple of
Mhm.
things coming in. Probably going to see you at a lot of these. There's Pink Tie. There's
Yes.
the Hospitality Ball and
Yeah.
a number of other things that I'm going to get to see you at
Yes.
as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have to stay close in those circles and
You're
see
gonna have to
what's-
help dress me.
See what's going. It would be my pleasure, and you'll have to help me not stick my foot in my mouth at these events, if you would, please. Well, that's great, Jason. Thank you so
my
much.
pleasure.
It was
Thank you
really
so
great.
much.
I look forward to spending the
Yes,
summer at all
me
these
too.
things with you. It's a great time.
Thank you.
Guys, there you go. The things that you need to do on a date, it's really important. The things that you need to think about, and really put your best foot forward. For Front Row, I'm Daniel M. Remember, life's too short to view from a distance.